Welcome to Nderitu Auto, where it is all about cars. And in this video, I'll be talking about the Honda Vezel. So before we start, I have had the privilege of driving a Honda Vezel, and I must say it's one of the top three cars I've driven. And in this video, I'll do a comprehensive dive on what to expect from the Honda Vezel, and I'll also touch on the two models that are very common, the hybrid and the non-hybrid. In the Kenyan market, I've seen the hybrid model is the one that is bought, and I'll also touch on their performance. I'll also touch on the fuel consumption, interior comfort, ride and handling, the safety features, and also the common problems and issues that you might expect when it comes to this vehicle. And this vehicle is known for its versatility, fuel efficiency, especially for the hybrid model, and surprisingly spacious interior for its size. And for anyone who is trying to get a SUV, a compact SUV, this must be on that list of vehicles that you are looking at. I know there are also I know there are luxury brands, when especially when it comes to other vehicles, other brands, but the Honda Vezel is a very good place to start. And in this video, I will give you a comprehensive analysis. This might be that one video that you'll watch about the Honda Vezel, be like, maybe I didn't know that. And also giving insight on both the hybrid and non-hybrid. I'll also give I'll give an expectation, what to expect when you have driven this car for a very long time. And the most important thing, especially when it comes to the Honda Vezel, is how to distinguish between the hybrid and the non-hybrid. So the one that I drove was a non-hybrid, and to know the difference, when you check the back door and the sides for the front passenger and the front driver side, you'll see a silver badge written hybrid. If you've seen a silver badge on a Honda Vezel and you're keen enough and you've seen a Honda Vezel passing by, you'll just check there and you'll see it's written as a hybrid. For the non-hybrid, is not labeled like that. So the first generation Vezel, the RU series, is the most common model you'll find on the Kenyan roads, imported and as a used vehicle. So there are people who bring these vehicles from Japan and sell them as foreign use. And you'll also see the vehicles being brought in as Japan as foreign used, and you'll see people buy these cars, drive them a bit, then they go ahead and sell them in the as locally used units, which is still okay because the vehicle still offers uh, the same. It offers the same. It only depends on how good you take care of this car. And to start, I'm going to start off with the powertrain and performance because this is the biggest unique selling point that makes people want to buy this car. For the Honda Vezel non-hybrid, this is what you get. You get a 1.5 liter IV Tech, which is the intelligent variable valve timing and lift electronic control system for the petrol engine. So this engine provides decent power for daily driving and city commutes, and it's typically paired with a CVT, which is the continuously variable transmission. So this is the vehicle that I've driven, and I must say has very good output, and it's different from the hybrid because the when it comes to the hybrid, it's a 1.5 liter IDCD. So it's the intelligent dual clutch drive, which comes for the hybrid. This is the most popular variant in Kenya due to its impressive and efficient fuel economy. It combines the 1.5 liter petrol engine and an electric motor and a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. So this setup offers quick acceleration and a more engaging feel compared to the traditional CVT. So this is the most sought after one. And if you look at the Kenyan market, if you look at the car lots, you will see that majority of the dealerships have the hybrid, and the hybrid has decent performance, and it offers an upper hand as compared to the non-hybrid. So the hybrid is always up there. So there's also the tuned version of this vehicle. Some discussions about the tuned version refers to the RS trim, which offers a slightly higher power output and a sportier suspension setup, although it's not as common because the two common vehicles and the two common iterations of the Honda Vezel is the hybrid and the non-hybrid. And just like I mentioned earlier, if you want to know the hybrid, you'll see there's a silver patch on the back door and the sides of the front passenger and the front driver's side. And that's how you know if it's a hybrid. Then moving forward, we have the 1.6 liter IDTEC engine. So this is very rare in Kenya. It's a turbo diesel engine technology from Honda. Some international markets receive a diesel option, but these are very uncommon as imports in Kenya because the most common ones are the hybrid and the non-hybrid, which is 1.5 liter. So the drive types for this vehicle, it's available in both the two-wheel drive, which is a front-wheel drive, and a four-wheel drive, real-time all-wheel drive system. So the four-wheel drive system is primarily for enhanced traction on slippery surfaces and not for serious off-roading. So one thing I've noticed with the Honda Vezel, it's not an off-roader. This is not a vehicle that you can drive in the normal corrugations. Yes, there's some times where I've driven in corrugations, and I can say that's the point where you know that you have to drive this car very slow because you don't want to damage the suspension system, and also you don't want the engine to be in a position where it can move because in Kenyan roads, some roads are corrugations. There are some fairly done and well done roads in urban centers, but not all of them. But when you leave and you go to the outskirts of town and other cities, other places, you'll encounter all-weather roads which have a lot of corrugation. Corrugation is the rocks on the road, and some of the roads have been built but not well maintained. So it can be a very huge challenge, especially when you're driving this car. So my recommendation is when you have this car, drive very slowly in areas where the roads are very uneven, and also uh, be on the lookout on making sure that the vehicle does not get hit, especially in the under trays and the sump guard. So the sump guard is what protects the engine at the bottom. So the under trays there, you know, you never want them to be in constant battles with the surface. When it comes to the Honda Vezel's fuel consumption, this is the biggest deciding factor. This is the decision that makes people either choose one of the two, either the hybrid on one side or the non-hybrid. And when it comes to the non-hybrid, you in the 1.5 liter petrol, expect around 15 to 18 kilometers per liter in mixed driving conditions. That means you're driving through town centers. That means you're doing daily commutes. Occasionally, the long distance journeys, 15 to 18 kilometers per liter. So that means when you fill up the gas tank, expect at least 1 liter, 18 kilometers thereabouts. So if you have like 5 liters, you do the math. Then when it comes to the 1.5 liter hybrid, the official quoted figures are as high as 22 to 27 kilometers per liter. But in real world Kenyan driving conditions, which includes traffic, varied terrain, that means you're going to drive through road, drive through corrugation, all that, you can realistically expect 18 to 24 kilometers per liter. So there are different factors that affect fuel consumption. So there's the driving style. There are those people who try to drive very fast. There's those people who drive mid. There's people who drive very slow. There's also the traffic congestion. There are some parts, let's say if you're driving this car in Nairobi through the CBD, you'll be majority of the time engulfed in traffic or stuck in traffic, and you have to try to use diversionary routes. So there's a high likelihood you might even spend majority of the time on traffic when you're going through Nairobi. Then there's the terrain, hilly areas. I can even give an example of the place that I've driven the Honda Vezel, the non-hybrid. There are places where you have to pass through corrugations, bridges, places where the road is not friendly to the car, but you have to pass there anyway because that's the only road. So it ends up punishing the car, and the car has a tendency of using a lot of energy to move through those terrains. Then and also understanding the fact that the manufacturer, the way they have listed the kilometers per liter is different from how you use it down the road. And there's that factory the car has been built and the way it's supposed to use the fuel, but it was also how you maintain the vehicle. So if you don't take care of this vehicle very well, there's a high likelihood that you're going to be paying a lot for less kilometers per liter. So, and for the hybrid models, and the health of the hybrid battery, it can really affect how the vehicle performs generally, because you will see for the hybrid vehicles, which are engulfed with a lot of problems, which I'm going to look at in the later parts of this video. When the battery system, the hybrid battery is compromised, you'll end up spending more on less kilometers per liter. So when it comes to the interiors and comfort of this car, you will see that this is the most underrated thing about the Honda Vezel. And the one thing that I like about the interiors is very quality, especially when it comes down to the fabric, the compartments, the dash. Everything is all good, and it's a very spacious SUV for its class. So despite the compact exterior, it might look small, but it's very spacious inside. And thanks to Honda's Magic Seats, you can be able to have different configurations based on your needs. And with the folding flat or flipping up of the seat bases, you can be able to get the desired space for, let's say, bags, luggage, cargo, depending on what you want to put there. And the material quality for the interiors is great. The cabin generally feels well built with good quality materials that exceeds expectations. You might think that the vehicle is just put together just like that, but Honda took some time when they were building this vehicle. And the seating is very comfortable. It can seat 5 adults. Though at the rear, the sloping roof line at the passenger seats at the back really can really affect somebody who's very tall. And my biggest advice is, when you're carrying somebody who's very tall, have them sit at the front seat, and they will be very comfortable because there's headroom at the front. And the boot space is good. I mean, there's decent boot space for a compact SUV. From the outside, it might look very small, but from the inside, because of the way the seats are arranged, it has a very, very huge boot space. And also other features in the Honda Vezel include the touchscreen infotainment system, which is often in Japanese, but may need conversion when you bring it into your home country. In this case, I have been struggling with the Japanese. I've been using Google Translate to get through things, so I'm able to change to my different radio stations. Then there's the automatic climate control. I didn't know the vehicle had this feature until I started using it, because the previous vehicles I used to adjust everything, but this one is the automatic climate control was somewhat seamless. And the this is the standard, more advanced version of car air conditioning. Instead of manually adjusting fan speed, temperature, and vent direction constantly, you simply set the desired temperature and the system does everything. And that is one thing that I thought was very underrated, because the previous vehicles that I've driven, I had to make sure to adjust everything. They were kind of old school, but this one was just new school. It has a keyless entry and push to start button, similar to majority of the new vehicles that are coming in. There's the leather or fabric seats. Personally, I prefer fabric seats. I find them more comfortable. I've tried leather seats in the different vehicles that I've driven, but I lean more to the fabric seats. Just me. Then there's the padded shifters on some hybrid models, the LED lights and daytime running lights. So for me, when I drive, I like putting the daytime running lights. They kind of look good, and somewhat I prefer them to be on. Then you've got the cruise control. When you're driving at high speeds and it's a long distance journey, you can put cruise control there. It's not automatic, it's a button you press on the steering wheel. Then there's the folding side mirrors for parking. And also, I've seen some models have a sunroof. I'm yet to see a vehicle with a sunroof, but maybe if you guys see it on the comment, you can comment down in the comment section as when you watch this video and you go and see a Honda Vezel the sunroof. You can go ahead and tell me. But overall, the interiors are very good. The interior interactions, that's what makes the vehicle personal with you, because when you are able to engage with the interiors of the car, you're able to have a personal feel, and it makes the whole ride comfortable. All the exteriors are only all on the outside, but how you engage the vehicle, from the steering wheel, the firm grip, and The Honda Vezel has been one of the most comfortable vehicles I've ever driven. I've driven a lot of vehicles, but when you're at the front seat and you're driving the car, you feel so comfortable with the steering wheel. The seat is the seat is very adjustable. It's adjustable very well depending on your comfort, and it allows you to be comfortable in your driving. I know other many vehicles have comfortable rides, but the Vezel was different. I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoyed it. I felt it was so compact, comfortable, and I felt one with the car when I was at the driver's seat. And it what make it this is the biggest thing that makes people really love this car. The ride and handling for the Honda Vezel is next level because it offers a very comfortable ride. I must say one of the best rides I've had is when I'm driving the Honda Vezel, both as a driver and also as a passenger. So the Vezel offers a comfortable ride, absorbing bumps fairly well in on typical Kenyan roads. It's not advisable to test this car off road, but on the roads that are well done, the bumps that are there, even if they are steep, the Honda Vezel is able to absorb them very well, even with slow braking, able to maneuver them very well. The Honda Vezel has very good nimble handling. Its compact size and well-tuned chassis make it easy to maneuver in city traffic and tight parking spaces. So one big selling point for this car is the fact that you never struggle when it comes to parking in tight spaces, especially when you're going to park in a shopping mall, where the parkings are very close together, an office space. I've had situations where I had to park this Honda Vezel, in a very, very tight parking space for an apartment. And I must say it was fairly easy. I have tried parking with other big vehicles, and I must say it was a bit of a hassle because I had to reverse a couple of times. But for the Vezel, I only had to get it right once, and if you're not once, but also twice at some point, depending on how tight the parking is. And I've experienced it multiple times. And the ease of which this car you're able to maneuver through traffic is out of this world because for its compact size and its ability to accelerate, especially the non-hybrid, because I've driven the non-hybrid, but also I can even say the hybrid because of its additional power, because of the hybrid motor, the hybrid electric motor it has. You can be able to maneuver through traffic easily, let's say not cutting up, but overtaking to evade the traffic. It's easier. And this car is very good. And the way it's compact and its compact exterior makes it have very good handling in different situations. And also, the steering of this car is not difficult, and the steering is light and responsive, making it a pleasant daily drive. A lot of times, when you have a daily drive and you have a daily commute, you want a vehicle that has the ability to have good steering, can turn on corners very well. When you're making the decision to overtake another vehicle, it's easy, and you don't want to have the hassle of turning the wheel the whole way. But thanks to the power steering technology that has come in to help to help the vehicles that are coming into the market, the technology keeps changing and you're able to appreciate it and appreciate the good handling, especially coming from the steering. The Honda Vezel can have some noticeable road and tire noises at high speeds, but it's generally acceptable for this class. First of all, this vehicle is not built for high speeds, built for moderate speeds, not too low, but moderate. When you're going at 100 kilometers an hour, it's okay. 150, 120, that's max speed. I've done max speeds before, but 120 is the max speed that I advise people if you're trying to go fast. And this is the only speed that is the most conducive for this vehicle. When you go past 120, 140, 160, that's a danger zone. And the vehicle is not designed to take on that because there are other factors that come in, especially when it comes to this vehicle going at high speed, because you don't want the brakes to lock out. The brakes can get glazed. That means the brakes can be very hot to the point where the caliper can't hold. So it's something that you don't want to experience. And at certain speeds, you can experience some noise. or you can feel like the vehicle is getting out of your grasp. But generally, it's stable even at those speeds. The general rule of thumb is to make sure to avoid these speeds, these top speeds as possible, especially if you're going above 120 kilometers per hour. And the only time it's acceptable is when you're doing an overtake. And that means that that vehicle that is ahead of you is very fast. And it's very fast that you have to go to 150, but not advisable. I wouldn't advise it. This vehicle, the way it has been designed, it's not designed to take high speeds like that. I've tried it once, especially when I was driving. I was doing a long distance journey, and the only time the vehicle went above 120 was when I was overtaking, and I had to have a lot of power coming in to all the wheels so that I can be able to go ahead and pass the vehicle. And after the overtake, when I go into my lane, drop the speeds, make sure I can be in a speed that I can manage so that you avoid any issues, especially when it comes to, let's say, the wheel suspension is not okay and you're jacking up the speeds. It can lead to very, very bad things, especially worst case scenario, an accident or the car gets destroyed beyond repair.